All right, so sanding. Pretty much the worst part of drywall, if you ask me. And there's many methods to go about doing this. Now for a bathroom, some of this stuff just really isn't necessary. It's a little overkill, but it does make your job easier. So I'm gonna go through each one, just kind of show you, demonstrate how to use them. And yeah, it should really help you out, especially if you didn't get a nice smooth surface. The first one, which if you're a contractor and you do a lot of drywall, I definitely highly recommend a drywall power sander. It basically has a shop vac that you can connect it to and then be able to, suck up the dust. It's kind of really the best way to go because it's the least dusty way to go and it really takes all the work out of it. But as you can see, it has these big 10-inch discs on here. And like I mentioned, you want to hook this to a shop vac. Now I do have a shop vac that turns on once I plug it in. This is a shop vac that has a little plug adapter in it. You basically just switch this to the plug indicator, so then when I use the tool, it turns on the shop vac. This thing is absolutely great for ceilings. It really makes it nice and easy. But again, in a small bathroom, it's usually kind of cumbersome because you can see how long this is. It's almost 6 foot long and it really takes up a lot of room. So I do want to mention, it is very easy to over sand with something like this, so you have to be really careful. You're really just trying to knock down any of the edges. You don't want to see the actual paper tape. If you're sanding all the way to the point where you see that, you're taking too much off and you're going to have to add more mud later on. So it really depends on how badly you put the job on there. And obviously I have some big blotches here and there, and you can take a little bit more time sanding, but you really want to just go over this really quickly so that you don't over sand the actual drywall. So it really is tough not to just continue with the rest of the bathroom with that, because it really does make it that much easier. Second option is just to get this little simple attachment for any type of paint roller stick, and it's basically just a drywall cloth sanding paper. So this will allow you to just kind of keep a flat surface and be able to sand things nice and smoothly. Okay, so this takes a little bit of practice to get used to, but it's definitely helpful. Keeps it nice and flat. Most bathrooms, all I do is buy a couple of these sanding sponges. Really is enough to get all of this off. And it's also nice to have this regardless of those other two items, because it helps to get into the corners with this little wedge and just make sure that you can get a nice finish. Okay, so then the final way is actually just to wet sand it. So you're just taking a wet sponge. This is more practical on the third coat, because you're just kind of wiping down the walls and then smoothing out anything. But you can do this at any layer of the drywall finish. And really, it really does make it easy. The easy sand stuff really does come off pretty easily. So you could wet sand areas to fine tune things. And what ultimately needs to happen is you need to prime the surface of the drywall and really take a good hard look of how flat your walls are. If there's any imperfections, patch them. But we're gonna go ahead and do the third coat, which is involving to the other side of the corner and going over any areas that we have little divots in so that we can get the broom painted. What the hell is that?
Oh, by the nails from the mirror.
I don't know what that is. Stupid. Well, if there's anything about drywall, anything can be fixed. So that's why I was having a hard time getting this back far enough. Stupid, stupid, stupid.